Wow. Crypto.com issues refunds. We're going to talk about this 100% refunds to its Wirecard users. We're going to be covering some of the latest news on Crypto.com. If you've seen my last video, I've done a couple of videos in the past week. If you've seen my last video, I'll link the card above. I'll put it down in the description regarding the Wirecard, the latest with Wirecard and what's going on with it and how it's affected EU and the UK. Basically, the government's come in and shut down Wirecard so they can't operate any business. Now, I didn't fully realize the implications of this, and a lot of people had questions, particularly people in the US and Asia, and I'm going to tell you what I've learned about that. Also I'm going to cover, before we finish up here, let me just tell you this. I've got a couple other news stories related to Crypto.com I want to cover, and I'm going to talk to you kind of my closing thoughts. Where do we go from here? What do I think the outlook is for Crypto.com, the CRO, MCO token, what I'm planning to do going forward, especially with all this uncertainty that's going on. First things first, let's just talk about this for a moment. Let me cover this news story. Crypto.com promises 100% refunds to its Wirecard users. Now, I did cover this in a previous video, but I want to read what this says. The CEO of Crypto.com, a Wirecard solution card issuer, vowed to issue refunds to his customers hours after the United Kingdom's financial regulator froze German payment processor Wirecard's cash and assets. Now, again, I mentioned this in a previous video, but I didn't fully understand this. I talked about where Chris said, we will rapidly proceed to credit the funds back to our users' crypto wallets. Again, I didn't fully understand the implications here, but evidently, according to some of the commenters on my previous videos, if you're in the UK or the EU, you have a fiat balance on your card, you literally can't use it. You can still use the card, but the fiat balance is stuck there. You can't transfer it off unless you choose to spend it off the card. So I guess this is what they were saying when they're saying they were going to refund you. And in fact, I'm not even sure if you can actually use the card. You might not even be able to use the card at all. But this is what the CEO is meaning of Crypto.com when he said he would credit users back in their crypto wallets. I think this is incredible because this is going the next level customer service. This is because you understand when you load that money onto your fiat Visa card, that money doesn't go to Crypto.com. They're not directly earning from that. That's not even actually their business relationship the way it looks right here. So with that money, when they're saying, hey, I know that money's locked up, it's because of Wirecard, but you're not doing business with Wirecard, you're doing business with us, so we're going to make it right. Of course, that would be good customer service, but the reality is not every business could do that or not every business would do that. I think that goes a step above and beyond when they're saying, hey, now granted, the way they're going to reimburse you is going to be in crypto in your wallets, probably MCO tokens or CRO tokens or maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever, but they're going to, I would guess it's going to be in one of their native tokens. They're going to refund you in your wallet, in your crypto wallet on the app, which is still very awesome. The Hong Kong-based payments and cryptocurrency platform said it's refunding 100% of the customers' funds after the Financial Conduct Authority suspended Wirecard's operations. Wirecard filed for insolvency Thursday after independent auditors could not account for $2.1 billion and Wirecard said was deposited in 2 banks in the Philippines. So it looks like, at first it was looking like this money was stolen. It's not, on second thought, after doing more digging, it's not been stolen. It was just false. It was falsified. It never existed. So the question comes to, why would someone falsify that? For a lot of reasons. For clout, it got them listed on the top 30, the DAX in Germany. For the ability to be able to get loans, it made the business look like it was growing. Most CEOs are paid based off of growth of the company. So there's a lot of potential reasons for why someone would want to perpetuate this fraud. But it doesn't look like they outright stole $2.1 billion, but they got a lot of loans. Wirecard wasn't, I don't know how financially, they had a lot of debt. That's what I'll say. And they got that debt based off of the business that they were supposedly doing. And it's that business that was fraudulent. We've been working on alternatives. This is, again, the CEO of Chris from Crypto.com. He says, we've been working on alternative solutions with our partners to make sure our customers can continue their cards, and we'll provide an update on this in due course, the CEO said. All refunds will be refunded in the next 48 hours. That's huge. 10x, the London-based cryptocurrency payment platform, did not return a phone call. CoinDesk reported that both companies have assured customers their funds were safe because and being held by a separate financial institution, but spokesmen declined to say whether they are seeking another card issuer. spokespersons, well, Crypto.com, their CEO said they were looking for another card issuer already. But here's what's interesting, and here's what's most important, and I'm not going to read through all this, but here's what's most important to know. I saw somewhere online, maybe it was another YouTuber, or I read an article, I was trying to look for the source before I started this video, but it appears this only affects EU and only affects UK cardholders. Evidently, if I understand correctly, and you can confirm this in the comments if you know something, if you have more information on this, but evidently the US and Asia have different card providers. So they don't even use Wirecard. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. And it does make sense because there's probably different regulatory issues in each region of the world. So this Wirecard thing doesn't look like it's going to affect US or Asia, the Asia markets at all. Well, by the way, this is my big question right here. Ernst Young, the auditing team hired by Wirecard, is facing questions after sources said the global accounting firm failed to verify Wirecard's financials. Specifically, Ernst Young reportedly failed to request crucial information from a Singapore bank where the German payment processor claimed it had up to 1 billion euros in cash, the Financial Times reported. The big question for me is, what on earth did Ernst Young do when they signed off on the accounts, a senior banker at a lender with credit exposure to Wirecard? Yeah, that's exactly right. Wirecard Solutions said it's taking steps to lift the suspension so business can resume as usual. We will provide further updates on our website as soon as we can, a company spokesperson said. This is the part that I've been these two questions are very serious to me. Like, Ernst Young is they're gonna face mega lawsuits because clearly some auditor somewhere wasn't doing their job. I mean, clearly. I mean, they eventually, one of those auditors were the whistleblower, so to speak, that kind of blew the whistle on this whole thing. But your question you have to ask yourself is, what the heck happened, all these previous years? Who was sleeping on the job then? So Ernst Young, somebody's going to get fired. Ernst Young's going to get sued over that most likely. This is the other question. As I said in my previous video, how in the world, how come, I mean, the government kind of screws things up when they come in sometimes and try to play law enforcement, because the reality is Wirecard, okay, they file bankruptcy, they go through bankruptcy court, they restructure their debt, they continue business, and they try to get out of the hole, or someone comes in and buys out the company. Either way, they should continue to do business. It's just a big headache to stop their business altogether. That doesn't really serve anyone. All it does is makes a politician look good to say, "Oh, I stopped them." Schmucks. Politicians are idiots if you don't know that. But neither here nor there. Let's keep going. I want to talk about something else that's better. I want to talk about this review I came across on the Ruby Steel card with prepaid Visa. Now, you may be thinking, Wealth, are you still looking at getting this card? Yeah, I think this is just a bump in the road. I am over this. I think it's a bump in the road. It got a lot of negative publicity. It spooked the price of the MCO token, but I think this is just a bump in the road. Now, I previously did a video myself on Crypto.com's Ruby card. I talked about what's the actual cost of the card. I'll put that above. You can definitely go and watch that. And I'll put a link down in the description as well. You can watch that as well. But Crypto.com's Ruby Steel card, I want to read through this because I agreed with some of this and some of it I did not, but I thought it was a great perspective. So I wanted you to be able to hear about this. This is on Bitcoin.com. If you don't know, Bitcoin.com is not the real Bitcoin. Bitcoin.com is Bitcoin Cash. I'm no fan of Bitcoin Cash. I'm pretty neutral on it, but it's not Bitcoin. A number of members in the cryptocurrency community, typically people who are paid in crypto assets, have tried a myriad of prepaid cards that can be credited with digital currencies like Bitcoin. The following post is a review of the Crypto.com prepaid Visa card in order to give our readers some perspective on how the card operates. During the last 4 years, I've grown accustomed to leveraging prepaid cards that can be loaded with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. In the early days, there were only a few cards for U.S. residents. Americans now have different options, have a few different cards available, and the products are issued by reputable companies like BitPay and Coinbase. Last week, news.bitcoin.com reported on BitPay offering its new MasterCard, yada yada. We're not worried about that. This week, our news desk got our hands on a metal ruby-colored Crypto.com card and tested it out so our users can get a gist of how it works. Unlike BitPay's card, in order to get a prepaid Ruby Steel Visa from Crypto.com, an individual has to purchase a token called MCO and lock those tokens for a period of 6 months. It's important to keep in mind that when you lock them up or quote unquote stake them, you don't lose them. So you can always get them back later and be able to sell them. And hopefully the price is going up since you bought them. At the time when I started testing the Crypto.com card, I decided to leverage the Ruby prepaid card that only requires a 50 MCO locked. If a user was to choose an Obsidian Black card, it requires 50,000 MCO, and the coin trades for $4.50 at today's exchange rates. It's lower than that today, thankfully for this bad publicity. I think it's earlier today is about $4.20. I was actually hoping it would drop below $4, but it's about $4.20 right now. I want to touch on this real quick. If you're new to Crypto.com, this is what they're talking about, the Ruby card. There's a big difference. They go all the way up to the Black card and the Ruby card. You can get the free one as well. I have the Ruby card coming right now. It's already issued. It's actually I got an email telling me it's in the mail, so I'm ready for it to get here. But you start getting 2% cash back, and you can continue to go up, and you can get some very nice rewards. I did a video on the best cash back credit cards, I think it is. I'll put that above. You can go watch that. The irony is, spoiler alert, the best card by far on the market is the Crypto.com Visa card. And that's kind of the video was really geared towards the general market, if you will, the general search market, trying to introduce people to crypto. And you can watch that because I didn't really talk about it from a crypto standpoint until I got to the very end, and I mentioned the actual Crypto.com Visa card, debit card. But it's out of this world. When you compare it to anything else on the market. I mean, of course, they're talking about staking this token, but this token tends to hold its price very steady. So it may actually be even a great investment to hold the token. Not financial advice. I'm just saying it's not necessary. I don't see it as a negative to actually stake the token. But you can get in for as little as 50 tokens all the way up. At least you get something for your tokens. There's a lot of platforms out there you can buy the tokens, but you're not really getting anything. And here, at least you're getting a value for holding your token, irregardless of the price. Of course, you don't want the price to go down, but this is just, up to airport key lounges, 10% on Airbnb, private jet memberships over here. You can get the airport lounge key starting right at the Jade Green card, 500 MCO tokens, or what they call it, the Royal Navy or whatever it is, 500 MCO tokens, which is next on my list. But let's get back to this review. For the Ruby card, the coins are locked for 6 months, and you can get them back or keep staking them in the future. The lockup of MCO is actually clearly mentioned in the user agreement, and it's an interesting way to get a card, to say the least. In order to get the card and do this entire process, I had to download the Crypto.com app on the App Store for iOS. They also have it for Android, which is what I used. The app has a built-in exchange as well. And in order to get MCO, I simply deposited some Bitcoin Cash. You can also deposit Bitcoin, and sold it to get the coins. Once I had the 50 MCO, I could then proceed to the card tab and select the Ruby card. After selecting and agreeing to the terms, the application does involve a KYC process, and identification needs to be submitted. All the base requirements include a photo ID, a social security number, and a residential address. I will tell you the KYC is very simple, but it is necessary. A third-party identity system does all the validating within roughly 5 minutes unless a person knows that they've been verified. If the verification process goes smoothly, the card ships in 7 days, and the app lets you know when it's been issued. The app also shows you the MCO balance you have locked into the program and any other funds you have stored on the platform. Crypto.com's app offers an exchange with over 55 coins supported on the trading platform. When the card arrived, it was well packaged, and the card is also metal with a touchless security chip. The metal does give the card a solid feel in comparison to normal cards. If that kind of thing tickles your fancy, it's still not as cool as the gold-plated prepaid card Peter Schiff showed me in 2018, but us crypto heads, we're doing all right. Yes, we are. The most interesting thing about the Crypto.com card, however, is comparison to competitors like BitPay is the cashback incentives. Right here. These cashback incentives are incredible. The Crypto.com depending on the card you leverage, the Crypto.com card users can get anywhere between 1 to 5% of the total cashback paid in MCO. The Ruby model used in this review gives 2% cashback in the native token. So let's move on to some of the use of the card. Loading the card is fairly intuitive. That's the key. The app, everything is very intuitive. And the card supports Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, LTC, EOS, PAX, XLM, Stellar, and USD Tether. Unlike paying an invoice to top up. You just need to have some of the aforementioned cryptocurrencies available in your wallet. This is other cards you have to pay like an invoice. Here, it's very, very simple to transfer and load up the card. Crypto.com also offers a non-custodial wallet that can connect to the exchange prepaid card app. If the wallet has funds in it, you can simply top up the card by submitting the amount in USD. The transaction is based on real-time exchange rates, and the card balance is settled in USD, so there's no volatility. Using the card is fairly simple, and the touchless system works nicely alongside the traditional chip insert method as well. So far, there hasn't been any issues at any of the physical shops I've used the card at, as I have experienced some issues with other crypto prepaid cards. That will have to be tested with time and see. I'll see how it works traveling state to state and internationally as well. After every single purchase, the app gives you a mobile notification if you permit notifications and lets you know how much cashback savings you get. So far, I've only saved a few bucks, but every little bit helps, and after a while, it adds up. The Crypto.com prepaid card is available in Europe, UK, which we just talked about, Singapore, and it accepts SEPA, S-E-P-A. The Ruby card doesn't have too many crazy perks, but some of the other colored metal cards with higher staking MCO locked in offer rebates on things like Netflix and Spotify. Well, the Ruby card now gets you Spotify. I don't think it always did, but it does. You do get Spotify now. Some of the negatives I had with the Crypto.com's prepaid Visa card was that I couldn't top up directly with Bitcoin Cash. No kidding. They don't support Bitcoin Cash a whole lot, like the BitPay card. In order to top up, I sold some Bitcoin Cash in order to get some Bitcoin that can be used to top off the card. So there's a fluctuating exchange rate involved with that procedure. Most of you aren't going to have to worry about that. You'll just use Bitcoin. Users who do not own the supported crypto assets can pay directly and skip this step. I also knew about the card for a while when it was called Monaco before the company was able to purchase the Crypto.com domain. I hesitated at the time because of the other coin involved and the whole staking concept, because I felt it was too much of a hassle. Monaco was lucky enough to purchase the domain Crypto.com from the cryptographer Matt Blaze, who acquired it in 1993. New crypto users should understand that there are some risks involved with staking coins, and it is a good idea for someone to study and research staking with due diligence. The number of confirmations it took for some of my coins took around 6 confirmations, and in my opinion, that is a long wait. I disagree with it. I mean, it's a long wait, but it's not that long. The challenge is when the reason it's 6 confirmation is because statistically that's irreversible, and these transactions can't be undone. And it appears that there's actually transactions taking place between different types of financial accounts and financial institutions, hence Wirecard holding the fiat Visa amount, for example. That's not underneath the same umbrella as Crypto.com. They're kind of, that service is being provided by somebody else. So the idea that crypto and fiat is potentially moving between totally separate accounts, but at the same time operates smoothly. I mean, if you think about what they've pulled off here, Crypto.com has pulled off something that is Herculean. I mean, it's so simple to use. It's so easy. It's pretty intuitive. But there's some pretty complicated moving parts behind the scenes. I mean, they've really done something that crypto's needed for a while, and that's make all of this a little bit easier for the average user. So saying that, when you're moving crypto and fiat between accounts, literally, is what's happening on the app, whether it feels that way to you or not, it's important that that transaction can never be reversed. So 6 confirmations makes sense to me. The Crypto.com app is intuitive, and it doesn't take long to understand how it all works, but someone who is new to digital assets should get some grasp on crypto asset logistics before opting to lock in staking coins for 6 months. Nevertheless, Crypto.com's app explains everything in writing, and the card's user agreement covers all the terms and the staking MCO as mentioned above. Again, up in the description, down in the description, up in the cards, I'll include my take on the Ruby card and whether it's worth it or not, whether it's worth staking those 50 MCO. I answered that question pretty definitively. Again, link will be in the description for that. Here's the thing I do want to tell you before I move on to some more news from Crypto.com. It's really nice. I think that it's really nice that you can understand how this works. I'm going to make a whole video about this concept, but literally when you have the Crypto.com card, when you have the app, the app is multiple components, right? There's an exchange there. There's the earn section. There's the pay section, the wallet. I mean, there's multiple sections in the app. But when you have the app and you are using the card right here, when you're using that card, you're getting cash back in your crypto wallet in the form of MCO tokens. You're literally getting free MCO tokens, and that's really good. And it's a very interesting way to be able to start buying tokens in a risk-free scenario. So basically what you can do is you can take this card, and you can, when you actually have that card, connected to that card, it's actually a bank account. It's Metropolitan Bank or whatever here in the U.S., for at least for U.S. customers. And you'll have a routing number and an account number. You give that to your employer, they can direct deposit directly to your card. You can pay your rent, you can pay your mortgage, whatever you can use with a debit card, a Visa debit card. You can buy groceries, all your normal expenses, and you're going to be getting 2% up to 5% cash back in free MCO tokens. You can sell those tokens if you want and for fiat and put it on the card, or you can sell those tokens for another crypto, or you can save those tokens and start stacking up towards your next tier, which is what I like to do. Start stacking and saving for your next tier. That's what I call the black card challenge. Start saving up for that black card. But that's a very easy way to start getting cryptocurrency and to start getting exposure to more MCO and the Crypto.com assets. So I think it's pretty incredible that we're able to do this. I mean, I think it's freaking phenomenal, to be very honest with you. But here's what you got to be careful for. I did a video where I talked about Bitcoin and taxes, and I'll link that above. Again, it'll be up in the top right-hand corner of the cards or down in the description. It's Bitcoin and taxes. The reason that's important, even though we're not talking about Bitcoin per se here, it's really crypto assets and taxes is what the video could have been called. But most people who are looking, who have tax questions wouldn't search it that way. So I had to title it in a way that they could recognize it. So I called it Bitcoin and taxes. There are some things you want to be careful for. When you get those tokens, you will owe taxes if you get, enough of those tokens. You're going to owe taxes. And it's not as simple as saying, oh, I got $500 worth of taxes tokens, or I got $1,000 for the tokens. I just got to pay taxes on $1,000. It's a little bit more complicated than that. The good news is if you have a competent cryptocurrency accountant and you have your records, Crypto.com is supposed to provide excellent records. I've been told this will be my first year getting tax statements from them, or next year, I guess, for this year. And I'm told that they offer great records, so it's not going to be that difficult for you to worry about. But you do need to know there are some different sort of tax concerns that you need to be aware of. And again, I've done a whole video on that in the past couple of weeks, Bitcoin and taxes. And you can see that in the description. All right, let's keep on. This is kind of the latest news from Crypto.com. This is important. Crypto.com extends the 3.5% credit card fee waiver for crypto purchases. Before I move on with this, I want to just say this. I want to reiterate this, going back to the beginning of the video. U.S. customers, my understanding is we don't have anything to worry about with the Wirecard fiasco. We don't have anything at all to worry about, is my understanding. Same thing with Asia customers. We're not going to have anything to worry about with that whole Wirecard nonsense that's going on. That's just unfortunate for the UK and the EU customers, but they clearly actively are working on finding a replacement card provider. All right, Crypto.com extends a 3.5% credit card fee waiver for crypto purchases. Additionally, up to 20% back on essential purchases, food, groceries, and delivery. So this is brand new, like today. So this is breaking news. Basically, they've been doing a 3.5% credit card fee. They've been waiving that. Up until now, you could buy crypto in the Crypto.com app using your credit card, but it would cost you 3.5%. They're waiving that fee. They're continuing to waive it. They've already waived it for 3 months. They're going to waive it another 3 months. Makes it probably the cheapest place to buy crypto, quite honestly. And they're going to give you up to 20% cash back on essential purchases, food, groceries, and delivery. Let's talk about how that works very quickly. Basically, inside the app, there is I think it's called Earn. I'm sorry. It says, I'll tell you. I'm pulling it up real quick on my app so I can tell you. I don't want to misquote it. It's Pay. It's Pay, spend, and you can increase mobile. You can buy gift cards in there. You can increase your airtime on some of your, if you have a prepaid phone or whatever. And you actually get cash back on that? Well, with stake tokens, you can get up to 10% cash back. And with certain brands, you can get up to 20% cash back with gift cards. Sorry. With certain brands, you can get 5% cash back, but the gift cards give you 20% cash back. And the 20% cash back and the 10% cash back, by the way, this is in CRO tokens. It's just another one of their native. They have two native tokens, MCO and CRO. The CRO token is the one that you get cash back with here buying the gift cards. Now, I will tell you that me personally, I don't have a lot of options for gift cards. Lowe's is like the best one. There's several grocery stores there, but those grocery stores aren't convenient in my area at all. Depending on where you're located, you may have more options because those options are available. They're regional. Now, here you can get up to savings. So obviously, some of these grocery stores are in my area, and you can get up to 10% cash back on these grocery stores if you have at least 50 MCO staked. Now, I will say there's a limit on that. I think it's the limit I saw somewhere, FAQ. The limit is $50 reward cap monthly. So basically, you can, if you spend $500 in groceries, anybody can spend $500 in groceries in a month. You're going to get $50 in CRO tokens. But my understanding is the rebate is in CRO tokens. So that's good. I mean, that's a great way to get. I mean, who doesn't have to buy groceries this month? Hopefully all of us. So instead of getting your 2% cash back or 5% cash back, you're going to be able to get up to 10% cash back, up to $50 maximum. So that's good stuff. So I wanted to keep you updated on what's going on with Crypto.com. I'm going to continue to follow Crypto.com. So if you find this project as interesting as I do, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Smash that like button. I want to tell you this before I get out of here. Crypto.com and their Earn feature is one of the best features without question. And I want to talk to you. Before I wrap up, too, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my thoughts moving forward, what I'm looking at doing. I've touched on it a little bit already, but I want to give you the full rundown. So Crypto.com, they have an Earn feature where you can stake their tokens. And when you stake their tokens, you're able to earn 12% up to, I think it's 14% per annual interest that you're going to get in that token. It is without a doubt one of the best ways to be able to earn interest on your crypto balances by far. With that being said, the only risk that you have is you're holding it on their wallet. Basically, it's not, you don't own the private keys. You're having to stake it on their platform. But if you trust a platform, and I do trust a platform, then at least for part of your balances, I wouldn't say you put all of it on there. It's worth it to get the crypto Earn feature. Like, it's totally worth it. Let's come here. 8%, 12% on stable coins, and it's even higher on their MCO token. And I'm sorry, their CRO token. I think it's 20% on their CRO token. So you're talking about a substantial way to earn money. I mean, a substantial interest when it comes to a bank account. Now, this is not the same thing as like my Crypto Passive Profits course. My Crypto Passive Profits course is about actually building a business. My Crypto Passive Profits newsletter. If you can check out you can subscribe to my newsletter in the description. That's all about simple ways to be able to earn passive Bitcoin every single month. Being able to earn, $5, $10, $15, $20, $50, $100 a month even. You can do that. But if you want to build more of a substantial business, if you want to take it further than just getting an interest on your balances, be sure to subscribe to the Crypto Passive Profits newsletter. Right after you subscribe, you're going to see a video. And that video is going to talk about my Crypto Passive Profits course. Watch that video. Join us inside that course if you want to learn how to be able to grow a true business where you're earning hundreds, even thousands of dollars, and potentially tens of thousands of dollars eventually, building a multiple streams of passive Bitcoin income, then you definitely want to check out the Crypto Passive Profits course. Now, where do I go from here? And I'll put a link in the description, by the way, showing you just an idea of how some of the results from that course. Like I've gotten about 42,000 referrals. The course is all about being able to do affiliate marketing in the crypto space, and I can show you an example of how I've gotten 42,000 referrals. And I've got one video where I discuss that, and I'll put that video up in the cards as well and down in the description. You can definitely watch that. Now, leaving here, what's my thoughts? Well, listen. I don't know if you've seen the Crypto.com price, but the MCO token, but it dropped. This is huge. I did a video, and I'll put a link in the description. I did a video about investing in cryptocurrency for beginners. That was a previous video. Now, here's the thing. In that video, I talked about how you just needed to be aware of dollar cost averaging and why dollar cost averaging was important. The market always moves in an erratic, emotional way. So we've got people that were like, I mean, some of the comments, all you got to do is go look at some of the comments in my previous Crypto.com videos. People were talking about, just last week, people were saying things like, oh, it's going to the moon. I'm buying more now. And then other people were like, it's over with. I'm dumping my tokens. I always thought this was a scam, weird stuff like that. That just shows you the different types of emotions that make up a market. The reason I'm putting these videos out is because I think it's important for people to realize, like, Crypto.com is a legitimate company. They appear to be taking steps that are rational. They can't control what happened, for example, with Wirecard, but it's good to watch them and to see what they're doing, what steps they're taking, how they're maneuvering during this uncertain time. And it's by no fault of their own. Like, if Ernst was turning in audits that looked good and the audits were bad, that's no fault of Crypto.com, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have probably ever used Wirecard if they thought they were, being fraudulent. But the market, people overreact. Crypto.com lost about 20% of its value. The MCO token lost about 20% of its value because it dropped from above $5 a token all the way down to almost $4. And I was waiting for it to drop below $4, and it still might. I mean, it will take nothing but just one little piece of bad news. If they say they can't, they're delaying finding a replacement in the EU, it may drop it below 4. If all of a sudden the Asia markets or the US market says, hey, because of what happened in the EU, we're putting more scrutiny under the card providers here in the US or here in Asia, any of those sort of news stories, people would panic, and it's possible the price could drop even lower below $4. At the end of the day, I'm still going to dollar cost average my way in. The only thing that's going to cause me to buy faster is if it drops below $4, I'm going to find some funds to buy some more tokens. If it drops below $3, I will find some funds to buy some more tokens. Heck, if it drops to $3.50, I may find some funds to buy some more tokens. Why? Because I believe long-term in this project. I believe that it can hit $10 or more per token, no question. I believe it can go potentially, maybe, just maybe, it could go even higher than that. But here's the thing. When it comes to the card tiers, this is priced in tokens, not in dollars. So if this thing drops to $3 as opposed to $5, all of a sudden this is $1,500 worth of tokens versus $2,500. Is it possible the MCO token is going to hit $5 again? Absolutely. Not financial advice, but my personal belief is absolutely. So if I can pick these tokens up for, say, $3 a piece, God forbid, not only am I going to get a token at what's, in my opinion, not financial advice, in my personal opinion, is a good price, but I'm also going to get access to this card and these benefits while it's still only at, hypothetically, $3 if it goes that low. If this thing goes to $10, it's $5,000 to get these tokens. All of a sudden, it's $500,000 to get this token, this card. I ultimately want the black card. So I'm going to pick up tokens when it's cheap because I believe in the project long-term personally. Me personally. I believe in the project long-term, and I want to be able to stake the rewards and get the higher card. And here's the flip side. I'm offsetting any other potential losses by earning the cash back every month. That's a total offset. When you're able to pay your bills, pay your normal expenses in cash back, that's a very easy offset for whatever the price does. The price goes up, goes down. If it goes down, you're going to lower what's called your cost basis if you just look at what you're earning from your cash back. And again, the cash back, I may spend $500 to get that 10% cash back, or I may spend $500 to get 3% cash back or 2% cash back, but it's $500 or $1,000 I was already going to spend on other expenses. You understand? It's not like I'm artificially spending money. I'm already going to spend that. So that cash back, being able to get that higher level of cash back helps decrease my offset. When I say offset of further potential falling token prices is what I'm saying. So I'm still DCAing dollar cost averaging in a little every month, but I will pick up my purchases if this price goes down. It looks like it's actually on the way back up. It looks like I might have missed it. You gotta have some self-discipline. My level was $4 to buy in some more. It didn't hit that I saw, so I probably missed out on that, which is totally okay. Future reference, just kind of watch for it. And who knows, over the next couple of days, depending on what news comes out, and if that price drops, I'm going to buy some more, and I'll bring that news to you as well. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Smash that subscribe button if you like this video. Hit that thumbs up if you like Crypto.com. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, crypto equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.